Well, hello, my fabulous friends. Hope you're doing well. Well, here is another part to the Canadian election. And I know I'm giving a lot of attention to this, probably more often than I did other big elections, but the mood on this election swings so far back and forth, and we are so inundated with propaganda. It's communist era propaganda. The polls will say one thing and then they'll say another. The lies, and it's the most bizarre thing I have ever seen in my over 60 years of life. And being politically aware for at least 40 of those. You consider my first voting when I was 18. So I've been voting for, 45 years. Yeah. You see a lot of things in 45 years. Ooh, poverty. Choice. Wow. Okay. Canadian election. So, as I've told you, never ask the cards the same question twice. So that's why I asked the cards, if the election was held today, who would be the winner of the election? So the Canadian election, if it was held today, if people voted today, who would be the winner? If the election was held today, who would be the winner? If the election was held today, I can't even say if people voted today. People have already voted. The early voting it has been completed. If the election were held today, if the official date of the election was held today, who would win? Carney on top, Conservatives on the bottom. I'm not going to say the Liberal Party because they've basically tried to distance themselves. So Carney on top, Pierre on the bottom. Upright positive, reversals negative. Upright positive, reversals negative. If the final vote was held today, who would come out the winner? Shall we begin? Oh, interesting cut. Let's find out. Okay, 10 of Wands. Yes, the Liberals do have a big burden. They've got Trudeau. Ooh, Ace of Cups in reverse. Not too happy. That's not a good start. The Sun in reverse. Yeah, he just goes missing for a couple of days. 3 of Wands in reverse. Page of Pentacles upright. 6 of Pentacles upright. This is interesting because they did a big platform today about how much taxes they would reduce and what taxes they wouldn't have. So I think that's funny that they got that one. 8 of Swords upright. 2 of Swords in reverse. Those cards were when I was initially, wow, look at the cards I was initially, they initially popped out. They're here. 5 of Pentacles upright. 2 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. The Magician in reverse. The Star in reverse. Queen of Pentacles upright. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2. Ruin. But based on this, these last 3 here, I'm going to say that it's going to finally flip to the Conservatives. Here they are. Somehow they're going to pull magic out of there. We got the Magician here, so there's the Trickster, the Spin Doctor. There's something going on here within the party itself, but it's like the Conservatives pull it out of the hat at the last minute. because we have the Star in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and they kicked out upright for the Liberals, and they are the current reigning party. So it's like they're kicked out. They've lost their legacy, and people want hope and healing. They don't want 4 more years of their stuff. And also ruin. Well, it's not ruin for the it will be. If the Conservatives lose this, it'll be the biggest fumble in Canadian history. I think this new platform they've come out today, where they divvy up the goods, I think that's going to make up a lot of people's minds. If this was still upright, it'd be like a lot of people are still on the fence. They haven't made up their mind. It looks like people have made up their mind. Now, this Two of Cups is underneath this Five of Pentacles. I'm wondering if people have come to the conclusion that they are leaving the Liberal Party and holding their nose and voting for the Conservatives. Conservatives know they should be in a much better position. But here's Carney, selling, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I'm not sure that people believe him. I'm not sure people have completely bought into them. I think the only thing they have going for them is diehard Liberal voters. These Liberals could murder the children and they'd still vote for them. That's how diehard they are. And it's really kind of weird to me, but whatever. I think the Liberals are going to be kicked out. Even though this is upright and this is, it looks like if the vote was held today, I think the Conservatives would end up with a minority government. So that's possibly why the Liberals have more. It's not a complete, I want to say railroad. It's not a complete majority win. I think it's going to be a minority win. I think the tables have started to turn. I think people aren't listening to what the Liberals have to sell. Also, Carney's kind of gone dark here with the sun in reverse. He's somewhat like, he goes like 3 days, no, like I'm going to go rest or something. But I think the Liberals are going to be kicked out. The legacy is over. The hurt is still there. There's no hope and healing going on here. But here, I think with the Magician, I'm going to say the Conservatives are going to pull it out of their hat. With the Queen of Pentacles here, sitting on the throne. If you end up with a court card and even if it's a major, but if it's in reverse, you're sitting on the throne if you're king or queen. If this was the King of Pentacles, I'd say he's going to win a majority, but it's Queen of Pentacles. I think he's going to pull it out if the vote was held today, it would be the end of the Liberal run. They would be kicked out. They'd be kicked out, but I think it would be a minority government. And it has a lot to do with people have made up their mind about what Pierre is willing to divvy up between the people, right? He wants to lower taxes on this and lower taxes on that, guarantee on this, guarantee on that. Whereas Carney has just come out with this sales job, right? Look at this shiny thing. Don't you want this shiny thing? And Pierre Poilievre has actually come out and said, okay, 15% reduction in taxes on this, no GST on this. Like, right? He's got very distinct points what he's going to do. Whereas Carney just has a general message, we're amazing, we're good, please vote for us. But they have a burden of Trudeau, look at this is a 10, the last 10 years, what the Liberal government did to Canada. That's what they're up against. That's what they're up against. Yeah, I'm gonna call it, if it was held today, it would flip, because I've been calling it, if the vote was held today, Liberals would win, Liberals would win, Liberals would win. If the vote was held today, now I did that one just before the debate, and I said it would look like Carney won. Well, you know what? They in the French one they said he won, but in the English one they said it depends what newspaper you looked at. Some people said the Conservatives won that, and some people said the Liberals won that one. But after the fallout afterwards, I think the Conservatives won that one. So um, I think that between the debate, you'd almost say that this was the debate as well. You know, the points that they were making. And then this is the people making up their mind. And it looks like a lot of people made up their mind to go with the Conservatives. They like these are kicked out of the party. These are people who are no longer voting for Liberals, and they're holding their nose and voting for Conservatives. There might be, there's some kind of block, like something here. Somebody's going to. We've got a week to go. Somebody here is going to disengage from the Conservatives, and there's going to be a big spin doctoring here going on. But yeah, just this alone, I'm going to call it a minority government. Now, if you're American, you don't know, a minority government means they really aren't in control of voting in our parliament, in the House of it just means that they need other parties to agree with them. So, for example, the Liberals, they had a minority government, and the NDP said, well, if you bring in socialized dental care, then we'll vote for you, we'll be on your side. And that's what happened. And so I think there's something here that if the Conservatives win, they don't have a lot of support from another party. That's what I'm trying to get at here. They're going to have to be careful what they say, what they do, because they won't want to create another election situation. But so there's my call for now. I'm going to do one more just before the on the 27th, the day before the final election. All right, so looks like the tide is turning. And it looks like people are starting to believe more what the Conservatives want to do for the people versus, just showmanship. And I think that's what is going to be the difference. I think with the Conservatives getting the minority government, though, they're going to be alone in Parliament, and they're going to have to they might have to bend and do a lot of spin doctoring to stay in power. All right. So that's my reading, and for now, I think this is part 4. And like I said, I'll do one more on April 27th. Thanks so much for watching. Take good care. Bye for now.